Hey everyone, it's Kim Velez, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. And we have a fun topic to talk about. I'm going to read a Neville quote where he talks about self-concept, the importance of it, and how it supports you changing the story of a specific person or any person you want to recreate and have a different version show up in your reality. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss this. So before I dive into this, I do want to make a special announcement that I am running a promotional price with some bonuses in my monthly coaching group where it's all about manifesting your specific person back in self-concept, and it's super fun. We have such an amazing group in there and an amazing time, and there's so many benefits to join this group. Okay, so let's talk about this quote. I love this quote. I'm going to actually read it to you in Neville's own words, not me, surmising it. And then we're going to talk about what does it mean. So this is what Neville says. He says, "I thought I could change others through effort. Now I know I cannot change another unless I first change myself. To change another within my world, I must first change my concept of that other, and to do it best, I change my concept of self. For it was the concept I held of self that made me see others as I did." I love this quote from him because this is what my whole channel has been about consistently and will always continue to be about. That this is why self-concept is key, because the only reason why you hold a negative story of seeing someone in negative light and really believing more in that old version of them and believing more in the version of them that won't give you what you want, won't show up being a better version of themselves, and matching the self-concept of who you're choosing to be, which is loved, wanted, chosen, respected, and valued. The only reason why you can't hold that favorable story of them is because you don't see yourself as being the version of someone who's so amazing and incredible and worthy to receive what they want, that this person at some point will change, that they want to give you the things that you desire and be the man or woman that you deserve because of who you are, which is your worth and value. So this is really important, because remember, your old self-concept, for those of you that have a pattern of past relationships before the specific person, has really been about you not getting what you want and you believing that, you experiencing that self-concept that says they leave, they don't stay, they hurt me, I don't get what I want, I'm used to being not chosen, I'm used to feeling rejected. That is all your old story. So you can't maintain the favorable story of them long enough to actually experience that version on a dominant level. And all the thousands of people that I have worked with over and over again have reaffirmed that for me. They've always said, the ones that really struggled with self-concept and invested more in focusing on changing the story of SP, they still manifested SP back, but they didn't trust it. They didn't trust when SP was showing up on point and giving them what they wanted on a consistent basis, because they didn't feel worthy enough. It wasn't natural for them. It wasn't normal for them. And there's kind of two different layers to that. There's a layer of my self-concept still really the old unfavorable one, so I'm still believing in my subconscious that I'm not worthy of this, so then it doesn't feel natural to me and I don't want to accept it. I can't trust in it. So then your beliefs will again have that version of them show up unfavorable over time, and you'll just rinse and repeat the old shitty cycle. You'll also engage in sabotaging behaviors, because your subconscious mind is what controls your daily habits and how you see things, focus things, and respond and react to things. But another way that it just doesn't feel natural, if you've reinforced your self-concept and you really are starting to believe this new version of you, of how amazing, magnetic, worthy, and incredible you are, that you're actually experiencing what you want, and it's just because you're not used to it, so you're doubting it. That is okay. That is going to happen. I've never not seen it happen to anyone, and when that's happening, you're going to get triggered with that, and so you just affirm the story that, no, this is normal for me. This is my way of life now. This is who I am now. This is why it's happening. It's safe for me. It's consistent, and until you start to naturally trust and know that it's not going anywhere. So both those can show up when you're manifesting your specific person back. And it's really important to know this. And a lot of people don't get in depth about talking about what really happens when they come back into your reality, because a lot of them haven't done it themselves, or they're just giving you the quick Band-Aid fix that is appeasing and satisfying the people that want the quick fix still and don't really understand what this whole game is about reprogramming your belief system. And that your thoughts do create your reality, but your beliefs are going to override what it is that you want. So when you do manifest things and you won't be able to sustain it in a favorable way if your beliefs say otherwise. So we're looking at, this isn't a quick fix, we're looking at, I am worthy of changing any limiting programming or beliefs in me that are preventing me from knowing my worth and value, and knowing that any person I desire, of course they can love me back. Of course they can be an amazing human, even if I've never experienced that from them. Now, in the interim, you don't show up like a doormat, you don't act like a doormat, and that's not somebody with high self-esteem. That is not somebody who values themselves and knows that they can get better and deserve better, and so they would not accept shitty behavior from any person in their reality. They're not going to stand for it. So you have to reinforce your self-concept so you become that person through and through, and over time, your whole reality just will keep shifting and conforming to bring you the desired results that you want. So this work is so important, guys, and you are important enough and you matter enough, and I want you to be important enough to yourself and matter enough to yourself to persist in seeing you favorably. A lot of people are so still invested in, I need to have my SP see me favorably so I feel like I'm good enough. I feel like I'm special. I feel like I fucking matter. And until I get that, I'm not going to believe that about myself. And that is the old version of you, right? So remember, I'm going to read what Neville said again because it's so powerful. I'm losing my voice. I've been fighting this, I don't know what I've had for the last week. I'm getting better, but I still sound worse than I feel. So remember, I'm going to read this quote again. I thought I could change others through effort, which means if I force you in the 3D to be different, you will. No, we're not doing that. We know that doesn't work. Now I know I cannot change another unless I first change myself, which means you're changing your inner story. To change another within my world, I must first change my concept of that other. So you have to decide, what is the version of SP that I want? And to do it best, I change my self-concept, which means to get the change that I want, to experience the version and change the person of who they are to me in my mind. Then the way I'm going to be able to best do that is by changing my story of me in relation to that person. And then the last sentence he says in this quote is, for it was the concept I held of self that made me see others as I did. So when you see yourself not good enough, when you see yourself as not worthy or special enough to be chosen over any other option they may have, when you see yourself as someone who doesn't get married, who doesn't get committed to, who isn't lovable, then you're going to keep manifesting that, because you can't sit there and hold the favorable story of your specific person and believe that they can be different and see you this way if you can't see yourself that way. It doesn't work. You can affirm it and they still will come in, because I've done that myself, but my self-concept was not shifted enough to a more favorable belief system about it. So I just rinse and repeated the old cycle. I only hyper-focused on all the things he was doing that didn't, please me, that wasn't what I wanted, and hyper-focused it on that. Even if 100% of the things he was doing, well, let's say 98% of the things he was doing was favorable, my brain would only go to the 2% that wasn't favorable, because this is how your brain works. It filters out and distorts anything in your reality that does not support your belief system or your perspective. So this is why those of you that are trying and feel so effort and focusing on them doing something different is why you're not getting different results, or you manifest them in and it goes right back to shit, because you have not changed you. You have not convinced yourself that you deserve this and will get this because of who you are. You don't believe that you're worthy enough to actually be loved in a beautiful, loving, tender, consistent way that's positive and healthy, and you don't believe it's a reality for yourself, so you can't sustain a vision of your specific person being able to show up in a way that supports that new self-concept of you. You can't do it if you're not reinforcing your self-concept. So it definitely goes hand in hand, and Neville's very clear about this. He says this in different ways throughout all his teachings. So we're not about taking little extracts out of all of his works, because he has a lot of works. I look at what is the constant, consistent message that he gives from the start until the end. He has a theme to all of his teachings, and they all are the foundation to whatever technique he talks about or introduces, or all of these beautiful different concepts that he has taught us all. So I suggest you go read him yourself. There is free literature online. You can Google, Neville free lectures, Neville free PDFs, and find and start reading yourself. You can go on Amazon and order his complete reader, which is all of his lectures, all of his books combined in one. It's super thick. Don't get overwhelmed by it. It's like $25, or you can go on YouTube if you want to hear him talk and listen to all the free recordings that he has, but listen to a multitude of them so you start understanding who this man was, rather than just listening to some of these people who are deciding what they like that he taught, and then they discard 98% of his work and focus on the 2%, or that could be me being dramatic, but cherry picking things and leaving out a lot of what he stood for and a lot of why he had so much success, and so did a lot of people that he worked with. All right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. Can't wait to see you in my coaching group with the amazing changes to it. So don't forget, the link is below. This is where we're going to reinforce all this beautiful stuff, your self-concept and manifesting your SP back, specifically for this group. All right, I'll see you. Bye.